Well, I'm looking at Hanni1312's logs again. I did that analysis of log 10 without catching the fact that that was the default PIDs and not actually the PIDs from your dump. So, in the interest of fairness, I'm going to go back and take another look at your actual logs that you meant to submit with the actual PIDs that you mean to be flying on, and just add anything I can add. So I went back to your yaw again, and let's see if it's better or worse than what we saw with the defaults. Better or worse? I think it's worse. I think that the oscillations here are higher frequency, which means that they're smaller and closer together. So they're higher frequency. They're happening almost immediately as soon as you throttle up. You're not even getting to 1300 before they come out. And wow, that is terrible. That is terrible. So I'm guessing that the default, I don't know what the default for Betaflight is off the top of my head, but I'm guessing that you raised the yaw P gain, and that was the wrong thing to do. Um, yeah, it might not be worse, but it sure as heck ain't better. So that advice stands. And if you want to know what excess P gain looks like, this is what it looks like. Constant oscillations. And now notice, I want to point out, the P term is always moving. But do you see how the P term here, it's very regular. Look at the spacing here. This is a constant frequency. Okay, now it's slowing down a little. But if we look at these things, there is a constant and regular frequency here, and that is that the P term oscillating around the set point. Okay? Whereas if we go to something like pitch, if we go to pitch, we can see the P term moving up and down and around, but there is none of that regular oscillation like somebody drew a sine wave. Okay, so that's not there. Let's take a look at your roll, because we also looked at that in the previous video. I'm going to look for a high throttle section here and hope that's something interesting. Here you've gone to full throttle and down. We do not, it's a very short punch, I'll grant you, but we do not see anything that looks like an oscillation. Notice that we see the I term go a little bit positive as you do that. It's hard to say what might be causing that. I was going to go somewhere with that, but I think I won't. And so we don't see any other, not really any other big throttle punches. Here, throttle goes up. Oh, here we got something. Looks like a sharp turn. So the P term looks a little less active here than it was. Still got some spikiness here. This P term on roll looks marginally better to me. I'm not sure it's an apples to apples comparison, but it looks marginally better. Still got some of this spikiness. Normally, I would kind of want to not see that. I'd want to reduce P gain until that went away. But I think with Betaflight, we can be a little more tolerant of it. That's my feel. But normally, I would think that this kind of spikiness is bad and is indicative of excess P gain or maybe excess D gain. It's a little hard. You sort of got a chicken and the egg thing there. But I know your D gain is at 15, and that's just definitely not too high. It's a low enough number that I'm confident it's not too high. Fine. So P looks a little better here. Maybe still could stand to come down a little bit. Not a lot of. Are there any other log? No, no other logs here. Let's just take a quick look at your other log real quick and see if there's anything in there. Here's a throttle spike. Let's see. Throttle goes up. Oh yeah, very nice. Throttle goes up. No oscillation in the P term. I'm very happy about that. Again, here, throttle goes up. P term, it's moving, but it's not oscillating. I like that a lot. And that's on roll. And if it's not there on roll, it's probably not going to be there on pitch. Let's have a look at pitch. Yeah, nice. Yeah. So I feel a little better about this tune. It looks like so I take back what I said in my previous video about reducing your roll P gain. I wasn't looking at the right log. Okay. This looks okay. I think your roll and your pitch P gain are probably in the ballpark. You might try increasing D a little bit, and that will sharpen up the motion a little bit, and also if there's any bounce at the end may reduce it. But don't go crazy if it's flying good. Don't mess with success. But yeah, definitely stand by my advice to reduce your yaw P gain to maybe 2.0 or maybe even 1.7, and then work it up if you want to. But it's way too high now. Okay, that's that. I looked at all your lugs now. I didn't want to leave you hanging, missing the one that actually had your tune in it. So, all right. Thanks for submitting and happy flying.